This is the Revit storefront, and we create that with mullions, vertical and horizontal mullions, and glass. Good enough. Well, but I want to create a curtain wall that I want to design my own mullions. I want to design my own vertical and horizontal partitions. And I'm going to do that following this criteria. Okay, so if I have divided the opaque wall into 4 different parts, I want 4 different parts for the curtain wall too. Okay. And I don't want to use this for storefront option. I want to use, we will go to wall. I'm going to use this curtain wall. What's the difference? If I use the curtain wall and I go to level 15 and I create a curtain wall here, the difference is that here we have just a glass wall, and I can create a curtain grid. So if I create a curtain grid, if I hover the mouse on a vertical line, I can create horizontal lines, or if I hover the mouse here, I can create vertical lines. Okay, so with this option, I can create my own design of this curtain wall. If I want a mullion or a division that goes only, it's not a continuous one, but I want to stop this here. Imagine like this. Okay, so we have this division. I have this one, and then that one. How can I do it? I can go to curtain grid, and here I can select at one segment. So if I select at one segment and I place this here, you see that I only create this division there in the, and vertically we can have the same. Okay, so we can create a continuous division or only at one segment. And finally, how can we turn this into mullions? I can select, there are different things I can select here. Okay, so I can select the grid line, I can select the whole curtain wall, or I can select the panel. If you do this, we can select the panel. Okay, so if we select the panel, by default, we have glaze. But once we have selected this, I'm going to do something weird. This is the wall that I have created, so I can place the wall here. Doesn't make sense, but I can. Okay, so by selecting the panel, I can change the material that I have in this panel. So I can do this. Okay, so you see that we can change the material that we have in this panel. So I can select the and if I select the how can I insert mullions? I have to select the curtain wall, and I have to edit type. And here we have the vertical grid, the horizontal grid, vertical mullions, and everything. Okay. So if you go to the horizontal grid, by default we have none. If we click here, nope, it's the okay. So it's in the not the horizontal and the vertical grid, is the vertical mullion, horizontal mullions. So here, by default, in the interior and the border. So by default, we have none. And here, those are the options that we have: circular or rectangular mullions. Let's select the rectangular 50 by 150. Okay, so I'm going to select this one. And this is the interior. If I do this and apply, then only the interior vertical mullions are selected. If I want the border to have the same material, so I have to select the curtain wall, edit type, and I have to do the same with the border. The same mullion, 50 by 150, and border 2, the same, 50 by 150. Apply. There you go. Okay, so now we have mullions there. I can do the same with the horizontal ones. Okay. So that's it. That's the difference between if I select the storefront, I have Revit makes all the decisions. Okay, that's fine. But I want to design something unique or special, then I have to design my own curtain wall, and I can select the grid lines and all that stuff. Okay. So these are the tools that we have in Revit, either the storefront, or we can select the wall, and then we can create our own design. I'm going to delete all this. And now I'm going to start here. So we are on level 15, okay? Oh, and there is something important. It's about the thermal envelope of the, if we have this option with the storefront, okay, so if there's a structural beam, steel beam here, and we have the medium here, the glass here, that will be a perfect thermal bridge. So we don't want this to happen. So that's why we cover this with a pink element, and sometimes, well, sometimes we have like thermal insulation material here. Okay, so with this option, we solve the thermal bridge. So from the energy point of view, this is better than that, because here we have a thermal bridge, or with this option, same, we can have a thermal bridge here. So there's a lot of heat that can go through that slab. If we solve this issue, we can place the thermal insulation here. Then we don't have a thermal bridge. Okay, so from this point of view, the curtain wall, I mean, I can solve this thermal bridge too, but there's an easy solution if we use a curtain wall if we don't have this thermal bridge, I can do it easily. Okay, so let's do it. I'm here, so I created the wall here. Okay, that's the first space between two grid lines. So I'm going to do it between grid line 2 and 3. So this is the first floor wall, and I want to place my curtain wall somewhere here. So I'm going to go to architecture, wall, select this first option, not the storefront, but the curtain wall. And I'm going to start on this grid line, and I want to stop at this grid line. And 3D. Okay. Now I edited the type, and I have mullions by default, the vertical ones. Okay, I will end up having mullions, but yeah, so I have the border, then I have to select the horizontal mullions too. But first, I want to adapt the shape of this curtain wall to that roof. Okay, there are different ways to do it. I think the best way is to, because we have to attach this curtain wall to the roof. So I'm going to select the roof, and I'm going to, you see, that's the elevation view. So I'm going to extend this roof beyond the curtain wall, because the curtain wall is going to stop on this roof. So I'm doing this. So, okay, select the roof. You have to do the same with all the roofs. But I want, this is a roof by extrusion. So if it's a roof by extrusion, I can extend this, and I want to extend that up to this point. Okay, so I make sure that the curtain wall is here. Okay, so it will be stopped by this roof. And now I can select the wall, I can attach to top base, and I can select the roof. And now the curtain wall goes all the way up. Yep. Select this, attach to top base, select the roof, and now you see that the mullion, but look at this. Does it happen to you? It depends on the shape. Okay, this is not good at all. So we have to fix it. And how can we fix it? It's about the shape of the roof. So if we look at the front view now, so depending on how you have designed the roof, we have attached this. So this mullion is out of the, you see that it's out of the shape of this roof. So if that happens, I have to edit the profile of this roof by extrusion, and I'm going to extend this here. And now you see that we don't have this problem. Okay, so we have to make sure when we attach this to the roof, we have to make sure that the wall is within the footprint of the roof in all directions. Okay, so here, well, here we don't have this problem, but here we have the problem. So now we have I have to extend this. By the way, we have to solve this detail. So we will keep working with this roof. We will keep changing the shape of this roof. But so far, if we want to make sure that this mullion is a continuous one and it's attached to top base, well, I have to. I think it's time now we can go to edit type, and we can do the same with the horizontal mullions. I'm going to use the 50 by 150 and the border. Okay, so we see that now there is a mullion here, and there's another at the bottom of the curtain wall. Okay, so you see that there's a mullion here at the top, and there's a mullion at the bottom of the curtain wall. Now we have to divide this into 4 elements. Why? Because I decided that. Okay, so I have everything will be divided into 4 different parts, and I want them to be the right. Yeah, they have to be the same distance. So I have already done or created those reference planes. So I'm going to click 1, 2, and 3, and I can copy these reference planes. If I copy these reference planes here, now I divide this into, I can create 3 more different planes. And what is this name? This is wall 4, wall 5, and wall 6. Okay. So now I can go back to the 3D view, and I can create grid lines here. So remember that I can create curtain grid, and randomly I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. They are not at the same distance, as we can see. Okay, but on level 15 now I can line up things. So I have these reference planes, so I can select the mullion, I can select align, and I have to select the reference plane first, the center, the midline of the mullion, and we do this again. 1, 2, and 1, and 2. Something went, oh, I know what went wrong. This module is different from that one. Okay, so these reference planes, they are not at the same distance. How can I fix that? It's annotate, aligned, and now I select 1, 2, 3, 4. I click here, EQ. Now these reference planes are the same distance, and now I can line up the things again. So align, select the reference plane, then this, and this. So we'll keep going. If we go to this left view, now we see what we are doing. Okay, so we have this, but this structural element is not behind the curtain wall. So what I want to do is to make sure that this steel structural element that we have here, it's included within the curtain wall. So select the curtain wall, move it down, just make sure that you pass the horizontal structural element. Okay, because on the elevation, I want the first mullion to be below this one. And I want another mullion here, because as I did in this drawing, I want to hide the structural element with something that it's opaque. How can I do that? Go to architecture, curtain grid, and create another grid line here. Okay, so we have hidden, or we can hide this because we don't want to see this connection. It's going to be something that it's not useful. So this will be, it can be glass, but it can be opaque. Okay. If you look at this facade, at the south facade of this building, you will see that there are some parts that are opaque because we have to hide everything that happens here. Okay, so now we have created this mullion, and that's fine. Well, I try in Revit, I try to create the things, or to create the 3D model in the same order that we will create the real stuff in the real world. With the curtain wall, we can't do that because, well, first I need to understand where the curtain wall is and where the mullions are going to be, and then I have to fix those mullions to the horizontal structure. In the real world, first I have to place the fixations, and then I have to fix the mullions. But well, in this case, we're doing the other way around. So let's go to level 15. What is the element that fixes this curtain wall to the structure? I'm going to move this closer to the wall. Just like, yeah, closer the better. We only have to make sure that we have the minimum gap between the first floor wall and this curtain wall. So we can move it even, if I press move, we can move this as close as possible to this one. Okay, so leave here just a minimum gap, 1 or 2 inches maximum. And so move this as close as possible to that beam here. And okay, so this is the beam. That's the central element that we have there. And now we're going to fix something here, and we're going to fix the vertical mullion. Okay, so that's going to be an L-shaped element. Okay, it's an L-shaped element. Well, I'm going to do it, and then I will. I'm going to use wall, architecture component model in place. What is this? This can be structural connections. That looks or sounds good. Structural connection. And now I'm going to create an extrusion, an L-shaped element, select line, and I'm going to start here on this mullion. I'm going to go until the vertical part of this beam, and it's going to be an L shape like this. And the thickness, I'm going to use offset 1/4. Okay, 1/4 of an inch. Looks good, like this and like that. Okay. Now I have to close this shape and to trim the shape like that. Okay, I just want an L shape. There will be a bolt, so that will be bolted to that structure, and this will be bolted to the mullion, so that I connect this. But to make it better, I need to mirror this L shape. So I need two L shapes, and the mullion will be in the middle of them. So I'm going to select all these. I'm going to mirror. Select the midpoint of the mullion, go up. There you go. Okay, so now I have two L-shaped elements that hold. There will be a bolt here, and then there will be a bolt here and there. Okay, so now everything is fixed. And how many mullions do we have? I have 4 mullions, so I'm going to copy. Here, 2, 3, and well, here we would need something different because the structure is different. So let's copy this 3 times. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and click finish. And now let's see the 3D view, what we have done. Okay, so on the 3D view, this element has to be within the structural beam like this. Okay, so you see that this element is, as I did there, is connecting the structural beam to the mullion. I click finish. And let's continue. So we have these 2 mullions. We're going to hide that because we want a transparent glass here, and we want an opaque element there. Can we create an opaque element? We have to go to architecture wall, wall architecture, wall. And I'm going to use one of those, okay, generic 150. I'm going to edit type, and I'm going to duplicate, and the name of this is going to be opaque curtain wall. And if I edit the structure, I'm going to do something like that. And this is the same or something similar to the sandwich panel that we created for the roof. We can add 3 layers. The first one is a finish. That will be aluminum. Usually all these curtain walls are made of aluminum. And this is going to be something very thin, 1/10 of an inch. Okay, so something very thin. Then there will be thermal insulation. You can type insulation and select this rigid insulation. This is not structure, this is a thermal layer. And the inches, well, it depends. Let's make it 4 inches. And then we have another aluminum, another finish made of aluminum. And this is the same thickness that we have here, 1/10. Now we click OK. And now I'm going to select only the panel. Okay, so here I have selected different things. I have selected mullions and panels. So I want to filter, and I want to select only curtain panel. Apply. And now I want to change this to the opaque wall that I have created. Yeah, so this opaque curtain wall. So now this is not transparent. Okay, I'm going to do it again. We have to select Yeah, so be careful because now we are selecting different things. I want to select the panel, filter, only the curtain panel, apply, select the opaque curtain wall, and there you go. And why did that happen? I don't know. Fine. Okay. Okay, so you have to do the same with these 4 parts. Okay, so I have copied this structural element here to that beam, and now it's holding the mullion. Oh, by the way, there are a lot of things to do. Look at this. In Revit, or in this kind of curtain wall, but I have to select the curtain wall. You see that I can select the mullion, okay? Or I can select the curtain wall, or I can select the panel. So now I want to select the whole curtain wall, and the glass is facing inside. So I have to flip this to make the glass be outside. This is what usually happens in curtain walls. Look at this. Okay, so this is the mullion, and the glass is outside. The mullion is not the other way around. I didn't notice, but now looking at this on the 3D wall, you see that the glass, this line is the glass, it's facing outwards. Okay, so we are done with the curtain wall. Well, we are done, kind of. But we have closed this part of this curtain wall. Now you can copy everything. You can copy the curtain wall, the transparent part, the opaque part, all these structural elements, and then you can copy here if you have the same. But remember that we have changed the roof, so probably you should be able to, but don't do that yet because we're going to create another curtain wall here. Okay, because so far this is the truss, and we don't have any element closing this gap, so we need to close this. We did this because we want this light, but we have to close this with a transparent element. So I'm going to do the same thing, but probably I will have to change this option here. Okay, so let's do that. We are going to work with the front view. And first, I want to analyze what I want to do here. I have created this roof, and the good thing of this roof by extrusion, we can always edit it. So I can edit the profile, and I think it can be slightly shorter. And the only thing that I have to make sure is that the roof shape includes the, yeah, it doesn't happen to me here, I don't know why, but it happens to you, but that doesn't matter. The roof shape includes the curtain wall here. The smaller this gap, the better, okay? And now we have to place a curtain wall here. So if we place a curtain wall here, we're going to need another level, okay? So I can copy this level, and I can move it down, and even, okay, so I can place this level at the top of my roof, and this is the base for my new curtain wall. So what's the name of this level? level 40. Okay, I'm going to name it. In this case, it's level 32, but I don't mind. If you want, okay. This is the level of the curtain wall of the sawtooth roof. Okay, I'm very bad at naming things, but I think I understand where I am. Okay, so now I have to create a wall that goes from this new level that I have created to the top roof that I think it was level 39 in my drawing. Yeah, it's level 39. So I have to start a curtain wall here and I have to go all the way up there. Let's do it. And so where can I do this? Well, this new level that I have created here, it doesn't show up because I have to go to view, plan views, floor plan, and I have this new level, the curtain wall, whatever. And now I have this, okay? So where am I? I think, fine. Yep, we are between grid lines number 2 and number 3. So I have to create this on grid line 3. So this is grid 3, okay? And I'm going to create a wall, a curtain wall. And yeah, let's place it here. And then I'll see in the section where it is. Okay, so I want this wall. If I select the wall, it goes from the base constraint is this level that I have created, and it goes up to level 39. Okay, good. So it should be something, yeah, it's here. There you go. Okay. Of course, we have to fix this here because this element is entering the curtain wall. So probably that's why we have to use the code to work with this beam here, because that will be so. And for sure, there's there's a connection here that I have to hide. So I'm going to do it with I'm going to edit the profile of this roof, and I'm going to hide this connection here. Okay, so that makes sense because the roof is protecting all this stuff that I have here in the curtain wall. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so at least now I have a curtain wall here. And if I want to make it perfect, I should be able to divide this because so far I have a glass that doesn't have any divisions. And since I think I'm a good architect, I want to make the divisions of the curtain wall match the vertical elements of the truss. I don't need as many glass divisions as vertical elements in this structure, but at least I want to make sure that they are okay. So I have to go to curtain grid, and if I go to the curtain grid, I can make the decision. Okay, I will have one vertical division every 3 vertical elements. So that will be 1, 1, 2, 3. That will be the second, 1, 2, 3. That will be the third, so on and so forth. So how can I make sure that these are lined up? Okay, so now look at this. I have done it to the best of my ability, but it's not lined up. Perfect. I can use align. I select the midline of this, the midline of the mullion, and now that matches. So the same thing here, midline of this beam, midline of this mullion, and now because you can see being a good architect, it takes a lot of work. So sometimes it's better to be a mediocre one. So well, do I have to line ask you? But I think that looks good. Okay, so yes. So now things look good enough. Okay, so I have this shape for the roof. That's fine. I have created that shape for the roof here. Probably I will have to change this roof too. And finally, we need a gutter. Okay. So what is that? What is a gutter for this for this roof? So I'm going to create this element here, the architecture component model in place. This can be we can select a railing, and I want to create this by extrusion. I want to set the work plane. I think it was one of the letters, so it doesn't have to be a level. It has to be, let's say, grid F. And now I'm going to start here. And let's do this. Okay. And now I'm going to offset 1/4, yeah, let's say 1/4 of an inch. And now I have to close all the gaps here. And do I have to trim anything? Apparently, all these connections are good. So I click finish. And if you go to the 3D view, now we have to drag this here and all the way there. Okay, so you see that I have created here to protect if the water tries to, well, the water will go in this direction. So I need to stop the water and then get rid of it. And there you go. Okay, so it's the same idea as we have here. Well, here we have a different shape, but basically it's something that goes to the, this is the opaque part of this roof, and then we have a gutter that goes like this. We have to add waterproof layers, so this detail has a lot of, it's complicated because we are doing something that we shouldn't do. So we are forcing water to get to the building. So the sooner we get rid of water, the better. But with this kind of roofs, we have this issue that we are making water to go into the building. And then we have to stop the water and get rid of it as soon as possible. Okay, so you see what it takes. So we are designing something that looks very simple. We can even criticize, oh, I don't like this building. It's like a rectangle. It's like a shoebox with this triangular roof. I don't like it at all. So probably your design instructor will fail you for designing a building like this, because it's from the design point of view, it's not something outstanding. But solving all the small details that we can find here takes a lot of work. But anyway, I think this is good enough because we have changed the shape of this roof. Okay. We have protected this structure against water by using this railing. We have covered this with a curtain wall. we have divided this curtain wall with some vertical mullions that are lined up with the vertical elements of the truss. And at least this is something that meets all the requirements. We have protected, well, we have closed the envelope. So now the air doesn't enter the building. The rain is not entering the building. We have this complicated point when it comes to the rain or the snow. So we have to protect this against rain and against snow. And then we have to force this. That's why I have extended this beyond the roof level, because I want to get rid of water. And we have closed this gap with a structural, with a curtain wall. And we have this opaque part of the curtain wall because I don't want to see this horizontal beam or the connection between this wall and the horizontal beam. So I want to hide it this way. Now you can be creative, and if you want to do something special for this curtain wall, go ahead. We can always select the curtain grid. We can create at one segment, and if I want a curtain grid here, and then another curtain grid there, you can do it. Okay, so now that depends on the design that you want for this curtain wall. Okay, I think with this we meet the requirements. We want to do something better, so that's why next week we will be creating the double skin facade. So for the double skin facade, that works, but imagine that this is a basketball court. So as a basketball court, no, I don't want the light to bother me when I'm playing. So that's why I will create a double skin facade, because if we want to, if there is sun hitting on this curtain wall, we can make it opaque. Okay, but if it's opaque, what's the point of having a curtain wall? So it's going to be transparent, but I want to have the ability to control the light that we have on this curtain wall.